Have you ever noticed how the weight around your belly doesn't just sit there? It speaks. It whispers to you. When you try to tie your shoes and find yourself short of breath, it groans quietly. When you roll out of bed with a stiffness you can't quite explain, it lingers in every mirror glance, not just as a cosmetic issue, but as a sign that something deeper may be out of balance inside you. As a doctor who has spent over 30 years studying the physiology of aging and metabolic decline, I need to tell you a truth that most fitness channels won't say out loud. It's not just about how you look. It's about how long and how well you live. Because the fat we're fighting here isn't the pinchable surface fat. It's the visceral fat, the kind that wraps around your organs like a slow, silent vice, the kind linked to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hormonal imbalances, and even memory loss. But here's the empowering part. You can reverse it. You can take back control. And no, you don't need a gym membership or expensive equipment. You don't need to do burpees until you pass out. What you do need is 7 minutes. Yes, just 7 minutes a day, backed by science, designed by someone who has helped over 10,000 patients transform their health. In this video, I will guide you through a 7-minute standing workout. That's low impact, joint safe, but laser focused on reducing visceral belly fat. But this isn't just a workout. It's a reset, a call back to strength, to energy, to the version of you that you thought was long gone. If you're ready to begin, take a deep breath, because the next 7 minutes might just change the next 7 years of your life. The hidden danger beneath your waistline. What visceral fat really does to your body. Let's take a closer look beneath the surface. You see, not all fat is created equal. We often talk about belly fat like it's one singular thing, something you can pinch with your fingers or see bulging over a waistband. But the reality? It's more complex and far more dangerous. Beneath that soft, pinchable layer of subcutaneous fat, the kind that jiggles and sits just under the skin, lurks something deeper, something more harmful. Visceral fat. Fat that doesn't just sit, but spreads. Visceral fat isn't stored just under your skin. It's packed around your vital organs. Your liver, pancreas, intestines, and even your heart. As a physician, I often describe it like this: an invisible inflammation factory. It doesn't stay quiet. It doesn't stay neutral. It actively interferes with your health every single day. What does visceral fat actually do? Let's be clear. Visceral fat secretes hormones and chemicals called cytokines that increase chronic inflammation throughout your body. And once that inflammation starts, it's like pushing over the first domino. It increases insulin resistance, making it harder for your body to manage blood sugar, a fast track to type 2 diabetes. It disrupts hormone regulation, throwing off your cortisol, estrogen, and testosterone levels. It clogs your liver with fat, leading to fatty liver disease. It surrounds your heart, raising your risk of hypertension, atrial fibrillation, and heart attacks. And here's the part that shocks many of my patients. Even if you're not overweight by BMI standards, you can still carry dangerous levels of visceral fat. In fact, some of the most at-risk patients I've treated were what we call TOFI. Thin outside, fat inside. They looked healthy on the outside, until lab work and scans revealed the truth. Visceral fat in your brain. There's another danger we don't talk about enough. Your brain. Visceral fat has been strongly linked to cognitive decline. How? Through inflammation. The more visceral fat you carry, the more inflammatory proteins circulate through your bloodstream. These can cross the blood-brain barrier and start affecting your memory, your focus, even your mood. One study published in the Journal of Neurology found this. Older adults with high visceral fat had smaller brain volumes in the memory centers of the brain. That means more belly fat today could mean less memory tomorrow. Why this 7-minute standing workout works, scientifically speaking. Now you might ask, Doctor, if visceral fat is so dangerous, how can something as short as a 7-minute standing routine actually help? I'm glad you asked, because this is where science meets strategy. 1. High-efficiency metabolic stimulation. This 7-minute workout isn't just random movement. It's made up of compound bodyweight exercises, movements that engage multiple muscle groups at once. We're talking about knee drives, cross-body punches, and standing leg lifts. These movements do 3 key things. They raise your heart rate fast, which boosts cardiovascular burn. They engage your core stabilizers, strengthening the abdominal and pelvic muscles. They improve brain-body coordination, lighting up your nervous system. And even though it's just 7 minutes, it triggers something called EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. That means your body keeps burning fat for hours after the workout ends. 2. Low impact, high consistency. The secret with visceral fat isn't one big workout. It's small, daily consistency. That's what makes this method so powerful. Anyone can do it. No jumping, no equipment, no gym. You don't even need shoes. This removes the mental resistance and helps people form a lasting habit. In my clinic, I've had patients in their 60s and 70s. Stay consistent with this 7-minute routine, without injury, without fear, and they saw real, long-term results. 3. You can't crunch away visceral fat. Here's a myth I'd love to bust. You cannot crunch away visceral fat. Of exercises like sit-ups and planks, they strengthen your core muscles, but they don't reduce the deep fat wrapped around your organs. Visceral fat responds best to sustained, moderate cardio, movements that keep your blood pumping and oxygen flowing. And that's exactly what this workout delivers. Short, safe, sufficient. What I've seen in patients, a real story. Let me tell you about Margaret. She was 68, recently retired, just diagnosed with prediabetes. She told me, "Doctor, I don't want to end up like my brother, on insulin, with numb feet and blurry eyes." But she also had arthritis in her knees. She couldn't do jumping jacks. She couldn't walk far. So I gave her one simple prescription. 7 minutes a day, standing only, for 30 days. She did it every morning, right after brushing her teeth. 6 weeks later, her fasting glucose dropped by 14 points. Her waist shrank 3 inches. But the most powerful change? She said, "I feel like I'm moving through my day with power again." That's the kind of transformation I've seen again and again. And that is the power of short, science-backed, intentional movement. The bigger truth: you're not just fighting fat. You're fighting inflammation. You're fighting chronic disease. You're fighting for better mornings, clearer thinking, and more years with the people you love. And the best part? You don't have to fight with shame or exhaustion or hours in the gym. You can fight it gently, wisely, 1 minute at a time, 1 day at a time, 7 minutes at a time. The doctor's breakdown: 7 standing exercises that burn deep fat and reclaim control over your body. Now that you understand the science, let's walk through each movement in this 7-minute standing routine together. As a medical researcher and doctor, I've spent decades studying what kind of movement is both sustainable and scientifically effective for reducing visceral fat, especially for older adults, those with joint sensitivity, and anyone restarting their wellness journey. Each of these exercises was selected not just for fat loss, but for safety, balance, neuromuscular engagement, and mental reinforcement. Let's explore how each movement works on your body and why it works. Exercise 1. Cross-back steps with arm swings. Movement description: step 1 foot back and slightly across the other leg. At the same time, swing both arms overhead and side to side in one smooth, fluid motion. What it does, physiologically: encourages torso rotation, which stimulates oblique activation, elevates heart rate within 30 seconds, kickstarting lipolysis or fat breakdown, activates both upper and lower extremities, boosting blood circulation and oxygen delivery. Doctor's note: this move mimics the diagonal twist of walking or stair climbing, but with enhanced range. It's especially helpful for those who sit often, because it unlocks tight hip flexors and decompresses the lower back. Patient story: Robert, 72. Robert had poor mobility after back surgery. This movement became his go-to every morning. "I felt like I was wringing out stiffness from my body," he said. By week 4, his posture improved, and he stopped using his back brace. Exercise 2. Standing knee-to-elbow drives. Movement description: lift your knee toward your chest, while bringing the opposite elbow across to meet it. Why it's brilliant: triggers core contraction without floor crunches, engages cross-body neuromuscular coordination, training your brain and body together, increases heart rate with no impact on knees or spine. Doctor's perspective: this move reactivates the transversus abdominis, the deepest core muscle that often shuts down after long periods of sitting or post-pregnancy. Real-world application: Lori, 65. Lori was a retired nurse with scoliosis. She used to avoid ab exercises due to fear of pain. But this simple standing move gave her strength and confidence again. After 30 days, she could lift her grandchild without back pain. Exercise 3. Upward punches plus downward cross punches. Movement description. Alternate between punching up diagonally, side to side, and down across your body. Biological benefits. Elevates cardiovascular demand, putting you in the fat oxidation zone. Strengthens shoulders and upper back, reducing postural kyphosis or hunching. Trains reflexes and reaction speed, vital for fall prevention. Doctor's note. Punching is often underestimated. These aren't just strikes. They're intentional muscle contractions that mirror everyday reaching and lifting. And emotionally, they're powerful mood boosters, releasing dopamine and serotonin. Patient insight. Dolores, 75. Dolores had recently lost her husband. She was falling into depression. I gave her this movement as a way to punch out the heaviness. She told me, I didn't just sweat, I released the sadness. Exercise 4. Knee, reach combo. Movement description. Drive each knee up, 1, 2. Then reach across your body twice with extended arms, 3, 4. Functional benefits. Builds rhythmic coordination, which is crucial for aging brains. Strengthens core stabilizers, glutes, and hips. Improves range of motion and agility through safe torso rotation. Doctor's angle. This movement gently mimics dance, making it not only metabolic, but also neurologically enriching. Movements that cross the body's midline, they activate both brain hemispheres. Success case. Marco, 70. Marco was recovering from a stroke. His daughter joined him daily for this move. 6 weeks later, he improved on balance tests and regained confidence in his walk. Exercise 5. Power punches plus row back taps. Movement description. Do 8 strong forward punches. Then, do 8 rowing motions while tapping one foot back at a time. Why it works. Builds upper body endurance. Engages lats and traps, muscles often forgotten in daily life. Re-engages the posterior chain, hamstrings, glutes, lower back, vital for spinal support. Doctor's insight. When we sit too much, our posterior muscles weaken. This combo reactivates postural strength and prevents issues like frozen shoulder. Real impact. Nadia, 63. She hadn't exercised in over 20 years. The rowing felt like reclaiming strength I forgot I had, she told me. In just 3 weeks, her blood pressure dropped 12 points. Exercise 6. 4 knee lifts plus straight leg kicks. Movement description. Lift each knee 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then extend each leg forward in controlled kicks. 5, 6, 7, 8. Why it's gold. Strengthens hip flexors and quad control, important for stair climbing and balance. Encourages joint lubrication in knees and hips. Connects core and lower body through synchronized movement. Doctor's note. This movement builds balance and flexibility without risking joint strain. And clinically, it's a great early fall risk indicator. If a patient wobbles here, we know exactly where to focus their training. True story. Ben, 60. Ben was recently diagnosed with diabetes. He wanted to hike again. This move helped restore his leg coordination, and he lost 8 pounds of visceral fat in just 2 months. Exercise 7. Split stance knee drives, 30 seconds per leg. Movement description. Stand in a split stance, 1 foot forward, 1 back. Then drive the rear knee forward and back, arms pumping. The metabolic engine works the entire front chain of the body, from shoulders to calves. Builds balance, proprioception, and core endurance. Pushes the heart rate into final spike, triggering EPOC, the afterburn effect. Doctor's closing insight. This is a beautiful finale. Why? Because it replicates real-life motion. Stepping up, bracing your body, reacting in an instant. It builds strength for real-world living, not just performance in the gym. Real case. Harold, 67. Harold used to fall on uneven sidewalks. After mastering this move, he walked with confidence again. He said, "The lesson behind the sweat. Why this 7-minute journey can rebuild your life. Let me tell you something that most people never hear from their doctor. You are not broken. You are not too old. You are not too late. If you've come this far, whether you did 1 movement or finished all 7, then let me say this as clearly as I can. You still have so much power inside you. And that power, it isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It's spiritual. Yes, this is a 7-minute workout. But the change it brings? It isn't just about muscle. It's about momentum. Every time you say yes to moving your body, you say no to fear. Every time you lift your knee, raise your arms, or reach across your body, you are telling your cells, your hormones, your brain, and your heart, I am here. I am alive. And I'm not done yet. This isn't just about fat. Let me be honest with you. The scale? That's the least interesting part of your progress. Here's what matters more. How your mind clears after consistent movement. How your sleep improves and you wake up with more lightness. How your blood sugar stabilizes and you don't crash by 2 p.m. How you stand taller, breathe deeper, and believe again. These are the victories that truly count. And they don't begin with a gym membership or a diet plan. They begin with a decision, a choice. Just 7 minutes. Every day, that's the doorway. That's your promise to yourself. The body remembers, but it also learns. If your body has been through illness, through trauma, through injury, I want you to know this. It remembers, but it also forgives. It can learn. It can recover. It can renew. When you move, even gently, you are re-educating your nervous system. You are reclaiming neural pathways. You are reminding your body of its original wisdom, the design it was born with. Your body was made to move, and in movement, it finds healing. Progress isn't measured in inches. You may not see a dramatic change on day 1, but look closer. Can you balance just a little longer? Can you breathe more deeply than last week? Can you smile in the middle of a movement you once avoided? That's growth. That's healing. That's victory. We don't measure success in inches lost, but in hope regained, in self-trust restored, in the belief that maybe I can, turns into, I just did. Your story is still being written. Let me close with this. You may be in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond. Maybe you've lost someone. Maybe you've lost yourself. Maybe life hasn't been kind to your body or your mind. But as long as you are breathing, moving, showing up for yourself, your story is still unfolding. And the ending? That's not written yet. You write it. One movement at a time. One choice at a time. 1 minute at a time. Your new ritual. I invite you to make this 7-minute workout your daily ritual. Not a punishment. Not a chore. A ritual of self-respect. A ritual of remembering who you are. Beneath the layers of stress, expectation, and pain. You can do this. In your pajamas. In your kitchen. Without shoes. With your grandchildren. While your dog watches. With a quiet song playing. Or with nothing but the sound of your own breath. You don't need motivation. You need a rhythm. Let this be it. A final message from your doctor. As someone who has stood beside patients during their best and their hardest moments, I want you to know, I see you. Not as a number, not as a diagnosis, not as a project to fix, but as a human being with the right to feel strong, clear-headed, and whole. No matter your age, no matter your background, no matter your body type, your health is not about perfection. It's about presence. It's about waking up tomorrow and saying, I'm going to do something kind for my body today, even if it's just 7 minutes. Even if you mess it up, even if you start over. You showed up today, that's enough. And tomorrow, you'll do it again. Because now you know, 7 minutes isn't just a workout. It's a revolution. And it starts with you.